Hi, I'm Stacy. My grandmother often said, whoever wants to get to the top will find a ladder. Thanks to her many lessons, I was an excellent student and took part in just about everything at school. When I was in my senior year, I dreamed of going to the best college in the country and eventually becoming a teacher. I was sure that was my calling. By the way, do you know who you want to be when you grow up already? Tell me in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It was an ordinary day at school. I just got an A+ for my literature essay and I was running late for my next class. All of a sudden, Quentin stopped me in the hallway. Stacy, there's apple pie in the cafeteria today. Let's sit together. I can't. I have physics next. But it's recess. You won't get anywhere in life if you're distracted by things like recesses and apple pies. Quentin said something else, but I'd already run past him. He was a good guy, but I didn't have time for him. And then I heard something that made me freeze in place. Our principal, Mr. Fisher, announced that the best student would go to a cool seminar at the college of my dreams. I was on cloud 9. Attending that seminar would help me get accepted into that college for sure. There were only really 2 contenders for the title of the best student at our school. Me and a nerd called Peter. He was awkward and no one liked him. I had no doubt I would win. Imagine my surprise when the principal called both of us to his office. Stacy, Peter, choosing someone worthy of representing our school isn't easy. So I'm going to assign each of you to a group of students who have fallen behind. Help them improve their academic performance and you will get to go to the seminar. I didn't doubt my leadership or my teaching abilities and I agreed with no hesitation. My opponent and I glared at each other and left the principal's office to meet the students that we'd be responsible for. Just give up, Stacy. Trust me, you don't stand a chance. I'd never lose to somebody like you. In my mind, I was already claiming my victory. However, when I saw my group, I realized winning would be by no means easy. After all, I'd be tutoring Mark, Carl, and Ash. Not only were they all on the basketball team, but they were also all the biggest troublemakers at school. That trio was completely out of control. As soon as they saw me walk in, they smirked. Ah, here's our mentor. We've been waiting for you. That was their leader, Mark. I wasn't about to give up easily, though, so I tried to explain the topics that we'd already covered in class to those morons. But instead of listening to me, they just bantered and teased each other. Would you quit it? The principal's going to check your progress in a week. You're wasting your breath, pretty girl. We don't give a damn about our grades. We're athletes. We'll break into the major leagues as soon as we graduate. Oh, so you're athletes, huh? Well, consider me your new captain then. You've got to listen to everything I say. They exchanged glances and burst out laughing. Captain, huh? We'll see about that. Ugh, I barely sat through the tutoring session and finally trudged home, exhausted. Quentin caught up to me. A hard day, Stacy? Like you wouldn't believe. I didn't get why Quentin was so nice to me. That day, I really wanted to talk to someone, and I ended up telling him about all my problems. Yeah, dealing with those 3 isn't gonna be easy, but I'll help you. Why would you do that for me? Do you really not know? I shrugged, and Quentin smiled helplessly. Well, it's just that for a long time now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. See you tomorrow. With those words, he waved at me and turned the corner. So that was weird. The next day, I was supposed to tutor those brats again, but they didn't even come. They actually dared to skip the extra class. Can you imagine? Dang it! Do they think I'm gonna give up that easily? They have another thing coming. I knew exactly where to find them. Soon enough, I kicked open the gym door and demanded they go to the classroom. They didn't hear me and they just kept playing basketball. I had to shout louder. Go to the classroom now! Whoa, Captain. You want us to listen to you? Then play with us. Mark tossed the ball to me, and Carl grinned. Oh, please. She wouldn't dare do something that doesn't involve reading a book. They were somewhat right. Sports weren't my thing. What they didn't know yet, though, was that I was willing to do just about anything to achieve my goals. Just you wait. I changed into my gym clothes, and I joined them. Of course, a miracle didn't happen. I kept stumbling, and they were all but crying with laughter. I was close to giving up, but then I remembered what Grandma once told me. Stacy, everyone falls, but only the strongest get back up. That inspired me, and I kept competing with those athletes. By the end of the game, they even praised me for my perseverance. You're tough, Stacy. I was sure you'd get scared and run away. You guys don't know me very well. Then the door opened and the principal led Quentin into the gym. Quentin's joining your group, Stacy. He failed all the tests today. What? But he was one of the best students at school. Why had his academic performance suddenly plummeted? While I gaped at him, Quentin gave me a sly wink, and I realized it was all part of his plan. He got into my group to help me from the inside. After the tutoring session, the 2 of us walked down a hallway. I still don't get why you're trying so hard to help me, Quentin. Stacy, I've been meaning to tell you something. He suddenly stopped and and stared into the classroom we were passing by. Peter was tutoring some students in it. Imagine my surprise when I realized there were only girls with perfect grades in his group. How is this fair? Why did I get these troublemakers while Peter's basically having to do nothing? This is really suspicious, but you should focus on tutoring your own group for now. You're right. I won't lose to Peter. The next day, I was walking to the tutoring session with renewed vigor. I was determined to stay there until Mark, Ash, and Carl were ready to nail any test. However, I felt that something was wrong before I'd even walked in when I heard a commotion inside the classroom. I burst in there and I saw Ash, Carl, and Mark arguing with Quentin. Stop this right now! What's going on? He wants us to cheat on the test. Quentin said he would do the tasks for us and give us the right answers. And that's not sporting. You've proved you deserve to be our captain, and we don't want to let you down. I realized Quentin was just trying to help me out. However, those athletes turned out to be too honest and didn't want to take the easy way out. Quentin's plan failed. Still, I was glad the boys recognized me as their leader. I calmed everyone down and said we would try to win without cheating. We became a real team and we taught each other something. I tutored them while they helped me get better at sports. Come on, Stacy, you can do it. Well done. Now that's our captain. After a while, we became close friends. The athletic trio even admitted they'd planned to make fun of me until I ran away at the beginning, but I'd proved myself as a real leader. You'd make a great athlete. You're one of us now, bro. No, wait, you're a girl. You should call me sis then. Ah, that's right. Quentin kept frowning at them like he was jealous. And one day I asked what his problem was. Isn't it obvious? I've had a crush on you for ages, but you never noticed me. Really? I'm sorry, Quentin. I was so focused on my studies, I didn't notice anything else. We can make up for lost time though, can't we? I smiled sweetly and I agreed to go out with him. Quentin turned red like a tomato and beamed at me. Soon, the principal said it was time to test our groups. For several tense hours, the students Peter and I had been tutoring did all sorts of tasks. I had full faith in my boys' abilities, but I was still so nervous I was chewing on a pencil. Finally, the principal announced the results. Peter's team wins. Congratulations, you are going to the seminar in the neighboring city. Thank you. This was easy. Mr. Fisher handed Peter the invitation to the seminar, and I felt like I was stuck in a living nightmare. It couldn't be. I couldn't lose. But I did. I was gutted. My friends came up to me and patted me on the shoulder. You did great, Captain. Thanks to you, we grew to love studying. I glared at them. This isn't about you. I did this all for myself and my future. You're athletes. You'll get accepted into any college you want anyway. My words clearly stung them. They frowned at me and left. Quentin gave me a weird look. Stacy, what's gotten into you? That was mean. You don't get it. Something fishy's going on here, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. You'll help me, won't you? Quentin hesitated, but then agreed. I dragged him to the principal's office and I asked him to find the test results. I'll stay in the hallway and I'll keep a lookout in case the principal comes back. Are you sure this is a good idea? Instead of answering, I shoved him through the door. A couple minutes after that, he came back out with a stack of papers. I found them. We hid in the schoolyard and we looked at the results. I couldn't believe my eyes. Ash, Carl, and Mark had done better than the principal had said, and everyone in Peter's group had actually failed. I don't get it. Why did Mr. Fisher hand the victory to Peter? You were right. Something isn't adding up. I was sure Peter had bribed our principal, so I found his address and I dragged Quentin there. We'll corner Peter and we'll find out everything. We knocked on our classmate's door, but we were in for a surprise because the one to open it was our principal, Mr. Fisher? Stacy, Quentin? I see. Now you know I'm Peter's father. Mr. Fisher hid the fact that Peter was his son so no one at school would wonder why the principal was always going easy on him. Of course, Peter played along. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. Oh, I see. You did everything to help Peter win. That's why his group was full of perfect students while I had to tutor athletes who couldn't even care less about their grades. You had no choice but to fake the test results when Mark, Ash, and Carl nailed the test. Fix everything now. I couldn't even if I wanted to. Peter just left for the seminar. Get over it. Get over it? I'm gonna go there, show the college professors the real tests, and tell them Peter took advantage of his father's position. Everyone will hear about what you did. Instead of looking scared, Mr. Fisher laughed in my face. He showed me the surveillance camera footage on his phone, and I saw Quentin rummaging around through the drawers in his desk. I know you two broke into my office and stole the test results. Who do you think they'll believe? A respected professor or two troublemakers? I realized I'd underestimated that scumbag, and I was about to admit defeat. But to my astonishment, Quentin decided to sacrifice himself. I'm the only one in the footage. It was my idea. Stacy had nothing to do with it. Are you trying to play the hero? It isn't worth it. Stacy won't thank you for that. She's just like me and would do anything to get what she wants. I've made my decision. Stacy, you've still got time. Go to the seminar and get justice. Quentin took the hit. The principal was furious and suspended him for 2 weeks. I couldn't let Quentin's sacrifice be in vain, so I grabbed the test results and I ran to the bus stop. I fell several times. My heel broke and I was almost too late. But in the end, I managed to catch the bus to the neighboring city. On the way over there, I tried to come up with any plan to stop Peter. I even thought that if I had to, I would just lock him in some closet. I wouldn't let anyone get in my way. As soon as the bus stopped, I ran to the college like a bat out of hell. Peter couldn't get there before me, no matter what. I was really confused when I saw him standing by the building. For some reason, he seemed hesitant to go in. Stacy, my father called and warned me he would try to stop me. Then why are you still standing by the door and not listening to the seminar? Peter said that he didn't even want to go to that college. That was his father's dream. He never asks me what I want. I'm even afraid to make friends at school because of him. Remember when I said you didn't stand a chance? I knew right from the start Dad would do anything to help me win. But now, I've decided that I've had enough. You should go in. The victory's yours anyway. I wasn't expecting a turn like this, but I was glad for it. Thank you, Peter. It turns out you're a good guy. He handed me the invitation and went back to the bus stop. Meanwhile, I walked into the building. The college professors were making presentations and giving advice to prospective students. I was over the moon. Soon, an old and highly esteemed professor called Mr. Jones took the floor. I'm so glad to see students who dream of dedicating their lives to teaching. Remember that it is a vocation. A true mentor and a leader will do everything for their students. Mr. Jones's former students came up to him and gave him flowers to thank him for everything he'd done for them. The professor was very dedicated to his work, and he earned the respect of his students. It made me think about my own behavior. For the sake of my own goal, I hurt my friends, let Quentin take all the blame, and I even thought about locking Peter in a closet. I wasn't a mentor. I was just like Mr. Fisher, ready to sacrifice anyone for my goals. A real teacher wouldn't do that. I looked down guiltily and I trudged toward the door. To my surprise, Mr. Jones stopped me and asked me why I was so sad. He had such kind eyes that I told him the whole story. I don't deserve to be here, but Mr. Jones smiled amiably and winked at me. It's never too late to fix everything. Everyone deserves a second chance. Thank you. You're a real mentor. After the seminar, I came back to my hometown. Even though Mark, Ash, and Carl were still doing great at school, they still weren't talking to me. Quentin was suspended, and the principal was holding a grudge against me. Since you dared to go against me, I'll make sure no college will accept you. Oh, things went from bad to worse. I came to Quentin's place after classes, and I thanked him for being there for me through thick and thin. It's a shame it was all for nothing. Heck no! Thanks to everything that happened, you finally noticed me, and you realized being a teacher truly is your calling. You did hurt Mark, Ash, and Carl, though. Huh. They have a game tonight. I think I know how I can apologize. I kissed Quentin and I ran to the basketball game. Our team wasn't doing great. They hadn't even scored a point yet and they were clearly feeling down. I ran into the locker room and I changed into an eagle costume. It was the mascot of our team. During the break, I ran onto the court and I cheered the players on. Go, go, champions! This is your day! Your captain believes you'll get your way! I took off my mask and I winked at my friends. Their eyes bugged out. But it worked! The team got its second wind and quickly scored several times in a row. After the game, Ash, Mark, and Carl came up to me and said they weren't mad at me anymore. Thank you for making us better, Captain. We hugged, and then someone tapped me on the shoulder. Are you the captain that showed my grandson the wonders of studying? Stacy, you're a natural leader. I'll make sure you're accepted into our college. I couldn't believe my luck. Mr. Jones turned out to be Mark's grandfather. Even a famous professor like him couldn't make his grandson study hard. But I did it. That made me believe I could become a great teacher. Being determined is great, but using other people to achieve your goals isn't. That's the lesson I learned. What do you think about my story? Tell me in the comments down below, and don't forget to press like.